What is your least favorite part about shopping in store?
My legs get tired.
Oh, you're the one who sits on the couch and watches.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Vibeflow with Jordan and Will. Let's go. Tech news and AI trends. Tune in now with your friends.
Will Bewley and Holly Cardew. How's it going?
Good to see you, Nams.
So we clearly have more than just the two of us today. We have invited our good friend Holly Cardew to come on the show. She is an Agentic commerce pro, and we wanted to, rope her in and see what kind of conversations we could have. So welcome to the show, Holly.
Thanks for having me here, guys. It's nice to see you both.
Yeah,
thanks
for joining us for our first ever Vibeflow as well. The rebrand, Jordan.
That's right. I had two special announcements, not just Holly, but Vibeflow. You're right. We have rebranded as Vibeflow. I like it. Will likes it. Not a lot of other people like it yet, but it's going to stick, and we're going to make it happen. We're going to make it. We're going to make it. So let me just do a quick intro for Holly. So Holly is the founder and CEO of Carded, and she is creating the future of shopping. Holly, look familiar?
It does. Nice branding.
Great, yes. So this is Carded. Do you want to give us just a one-liner on what Carded is?
Yeah, today we're an ultimate wishlist app that allows you to save any item from any store and track prices and get back in stock alerts. And so that's really any product, not just fashion, and it can be new and resale.
Awesome. So interesting enough, Holly and I actually met because of this space. So her other company, Pixie, is working with, I think, 30,000 Shopify sellers, helps them fix and enhance their imagery. Is that right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Pre-AI days.
Pre-AI cropping, pre-AI background removal. And let me double click on the background removal. That's actually how we met. So I was working at a company called Shop It To Me, and we were working on some form of technology, also pre-AI. And one of our mutual friends connected us. And we've been talking commerce ever since. Now it's agentic commerce, but back then it was just commerce.
Wow, time flies. But
It
also
really-
feels like a long time ago.
It really does. It really does. Okay, well, I think I'm going to just jump in to our first topic of the show. And I think this is going to be the core of our show because it is around shopping. It is a specialty of all of ours. Surprise. So Remark, they are bringing the in-store experience online. An article dropped this week about them raising $16 million to build out human-powered expert models for e-commerce. Okay, so there's a lot. It's a lot of words, a lot of things going on. It's very interesting because actually what they're doing right now is they're only using humans. So in the world of AI, they have leveraged 100% human workforce to do this job. And I think it's actually a really good idea. The obvious long-term approach is they're going to use the data they're creating around this process to train the models to be better. But what they want to do is have a much higher return on, or a much higher sell rate on these websites. So if you go into a store in person, you are shopping, your likelihood of purchasing something is vastly higher. I believe it's like 20% than if you're shopping online, which I believe is under 1%. And so they want to turn that on its head and give you a similar experience with that human touch. So I thought it was quite interesting. I also really like how they are really, really emphasizing the human piece because I think it's a good gateway. It's a good bridge for humans to adopt this type of technology to be able to get over the hump until the models are at the level that you'd expect. First off, I know, Holly, you have not used this, but what do you think of it?
Well, I really like their approach of, I've always been in selling to a merchant, and merchant tools have typically been built for a merchant, which is not what we're doing at Carter, but what they are doing. And I think it makes sense because a lot of merchants do need help. I think also with AI, a lot of models do need human in the loop to train the model to make it a good experience. And in a way, it probably does help them not just to have a human in the loop to train the model, but actually gets shoppers using the product, because there's nothing worse than a consumer using a product. It doesn't work and then they bounce, and then they're actually not building any trust or getting any context or intent data from the consumer, which we talk a lot about. So I think actually their approach, I didn't realize they had the humans in the loop to begin with, is actually a smart approach, because you have to build that to get the data from the user.
I totally agree.
We talk about that with some things that we do internally as well. And I think we maybe mentioned it before, but you can get 90% of the way there maybe with the existing models, but the last 10% is the extra 90%, we joke. And it feels like that's where human experts can really come in. I thought it was phenomenal. They've got like 60,000 experts or something in their system already. I'm not sure. They seem like very much targeted in a specific vertical today around sort of like alpine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sort of shopping experiences. So I don't know how that expands to like all taxonomies, all verticals. They need millions of people at this point. I'm not sure.
I think also it's smart for them to focus on that area because it's an area where you need to do a lot of research and it's a high volume, a high purchase value item. So it makes sense to have that human in the loop because if they're giving, a commission to the salesperson, it's helpful. And you actually spend a lot of time speaking to a salesperson or, Remark to ask more questions and get more feedback on the product itself. So
that's true. It's like often why people like going into like REI and stuff, right? Is like the people they have in store are super helpful with helping you with your purchase that you don't quite have that experience online today. So I think they're bringing that online. What else could you imagine it for, Holly? What would it work with? I guess like what's another shop that does that, kind of like in like beauty and things like that? I guess you have some expert help.
In beauty, absolutely, because like product matching in terms of you want to change your foundation from one brand to another and you don't know what shade you are, that's quite challenging, and understanding that. And you could ask any women, most of them like buy one type of product and then they kind of stick with that one product until to change. But I think the other thing is in homewares and home goods, furniture, again, that expensive item, even if it's not just expensive, it's bulky. Like you get a sofa delivered to your house. You don't want to end up spending the $300 to return it. And it's like a big effort. So you kind of have to do a lot more research up front. So I think it works well on those sorts of products.
Well, let me ask this, Will. What is your least favorite part about shopping in store?
My legs get tired.
Classic Will.
Oh, you're the one who sits on the couch and watches.
Yeah. I enjoy a nice mall, walking around a nice mall. We have one here in Corte Madera in Marin, which is just delightful. So I think part of it is the experience, right? And I think people will always still have an enjoyment part to shopping, but there's probably a huge part of shopping that's more on the consumable side or on the high velocity side as well that you just don't want to do in store. So it'll be interesting to see if like they can make this model work for those. Maybe you actually enjoy going to REI and like checking out all the stuff and talking with people. So I see that that's definitely like where they're starting. But if you can bring this to actually making a great experience on something like Instacart or stuff that I just don't enjoy doing. Jordan actually likes the grocery store, so we're a little different here.
Love it.
I'm on Team Will here. I do not. Unless
you send me your list. I'll go shop for you.
Okay, unless I'm in a foreign grocery store like in Spain or France, sure. But other than that, not interested.
So, okay, I thought deeply about this question. Like, how do I shop? And how does this product actually solve some of those problems? Or just how does it mesh with my style of shopping? I'm the guy who goes into a store and I really don't like when someone comes up and asks me, or like starts asking me if I need help, or I'm just like, let me do my thing. Even if you can help me, I just want to kind of do my thing for a little bit. And then they come back and they're like,
do this so much.
So annoying. So annoying. Oh, what I will say is, I feel bad. Like I don't make eye contact with the people, you're like doing the thing and then they go up to you and you kind of like run away. I don't feel bad ignoring a chatbot. And so it's there when I want it, but I don't really feel weird about it when I don't want it, right? I can just be like, no, don't open this chatbot until I need you and then I can ask questions. So I think it's interesting in that regard. Like I think a lot of people want the ability to talk to a human, but don't want the human to be the proactive, like, speaker. So I think it's a nice blend there. Just real quick, Will, I just wanted to correct you, or I think it's correcting you. You said 60,000 people. It's actually $60,000 is how much they earn a year. So so that was just an interesting tidbit
so just
as
a couple
well.
People.
Yeah,
it's
I don't know
definitely part-time work right now, but
how many people there are doing it. But it did say how much they get paid, which is interesting.
Well, would you still feel the same about? I agree with like automated chatbots, but this is not an automated chatbot. There's an expert on the other side, so is it not the same as Nordstrom, just in a little screen?
Do I see the person's face? Do we make eye contact? I don't think so. I think it's
So
fine.
you can click X probably.
Yeah, you just X out, and they're blasting to like, whoever's on the page, is like 10 of them. They'll become friends with one of them. I don't feel bad for them.
I think,
fine.
yeah, I think it's interesting, and I'm sure we'll talk a lot today about agentic commerce. A lot of the experiences that we're seeing today on agentic commerce is on the agent shopping side. So like the agent on behalf of the consumer making the purchases. This is actually kind of on the other side, right? So this is like the seller having an agent that can sell you stuff. And so I've seen less innovation in this space so far. I think this is like, yes, they're using humans in the loop today, but they're kind of moving that direction. So over time. So actually it's cool to see some innovation on the agent working on behalf of the brand or the merchant side, which we haven't seen too much yet. I think Sierra AI have some of this that they offer, like sales rep chatbots on websites. But yes, it's pretty novel in that regard.
Well, that's a good segue, because that is what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the agentic commerce piece. Specifically, would you allow an AI agent, go actually do the purchasing for you? So we've been talking about this for a while, and Holly was the first person in the tech sphere to be like, no, this is not ready. I know more than everybody else because this has been my space for a decade. But I agree with you, Holly. And why don't you, I don't know if you remember exactly what you told me, but it actually made a lot of sense when it comes down to the psychology. Correct, right? So do you want to share your perspective of this?
And your experience.
Yeah,
and your experience?
I don't want to be the naysayer. I think the key thing here is that like a couple of years ago, everyone was building what we called universal commerce. And agentic commerce is essentially universal commerce 2.0. One was programmatic and one's now AI. And how I kind of split shopping is that it's, there's functional shopping, like for me, it's groceries. And then there's emotional shopping. And then, so some things people will want to, like it's a dream state for shoppers to be able to say, yeah, just go buy this for me. But I think a lot of shoppers, well, a couple of things. Some of them have the like thrill to hunt for products. And you see that in terms of people walk down Fillmore Street on the weekend shopping with their friends because they love to browse and look for things. So I think in that sense, it doesn't necessarily make sense for an agent to just go, I found the thing, I bought it. It also really needs to have the product data in real time down to a variant level to be able to surface the right product. And then also it needs to understand your context and your intent to purchase. Otherwise, most of us don't even know what we want to buy ourselves. So how is the agent going to know? And until it has all of those data points, and like when I say all of those data points, I mean like, does it know I have a Sephora rewards program? Does it know what's in my beauty cabinet? No. Does it know what's in my fridge to be able to do my food shopping and know how many yogurts I have left, etc.? I think it will be really hard. So I kind of see agentic commerce in that way, in terms of it's further out than I think it won't be 2 to 3 years. I personally don't think. I think it could work really well in the B2B and procurement space, where you're a restaurant, you need to order 100 cans of tinned tomatoes every week for your pasta dishes. Like that's great, and you can put that on automated order. But I think for a consumer, it's slightly different.
What is your timeline for consumer then?
Well, for me, I don't know if it will just be like only agentic commerce and this is the way everything is going. Like, I just think that people love shopping and browsing, just like we like to scroll TikTok and Instagram. It's part of our entertainment. And so I think we will have different purchases and do different things in terms of agentic commerce and checking out. If I could do it for my groceries or the other thing is, once I've decided on an item, like exactly what I want, go and hunt it down on the internet for me. Like I don't really want to spend months and weeks looking for this item and waiting for it to come back into stock. That's when I want it to work. Yeah. So I don't have an exact timeline, but
yeah. So that would be a couple of points on that. First, it reminds me of a topic we spoke about a few weeks ago, the sliding scale of AI, right? Like how much autonomy do you give the AI? You usually start at 0. So actually interesting, like Remark, this product is starting at complete 0. They'll start sliding the scale of add less humans, more AI. In your case here, maybe the sliding scale is, hey, I really need like a purple dress for this thing I'm going to, blah, blah, blah. It can come back to you with 10 options. You can hone in on it. It's not fully autonomous, not going to go buy it, but it's going to do some of the parts for you. And then as you get more and more comfortable with it, you can slide the scale over. And it's like next step is actually it finds 3 dresses and puts it in your cart for you.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's really tricky there though, because if I was to give you 3 tops, you'd be like, but can't you show me some more? Like,
I'll just buy them all.
Like, what? Like, I don't trust you. Like, we even open up Google tabs and look at items and we're like, but hang on, surely there's got to be an Adidas sneaker. Like, this is not the only result. So it's really until you build the trust and it gives true personalized recommendations. I think we will constantly look on Pinterest, on Instagram, ask friends for recommendations. So I don't know if we just shop like that way in terms of, I would like a purple dress for an event. Can you give me 3? Some things, white socks, sure. White t-shirt, maybe. We're all so different. So I see it as, how do we evolve the interface or the experience for every user at every different point in their journey?
Yeah. I agree. I think we saw the kind of the early pre-AI version of this with like a Stitch Fix, right? Where you could have like a personal stylist. It wasn't perfect, but I think some people really got to like it over time, and you would need to give it feedback. I think same with an agent, you'd want to keep giving your agent feedback as it's going and doing its shopping. I will say curation is getting really good on things like Instagram though today, right? Like actually a lot of people joke that the ads are better than the content on there that they're seeing. So I'm not sure if you buy merch from Instagram, but I know Jordan definitely is a sucker for an Instagram ad.
What?
So that is kind of like a little bit of an agentic shopping experience, in that things are being brought to you by their algorithm on their ad network, and it's actually pretty good stuff. It's actually scary, right? It's like it's listening to you in your room having your conversation about what you need, and then the next day you're on there, you see 10 ads for the same thing.
What's the last thing that you purchased on Instagram? Ready, set, go.
I haven't purchased something from Instagram.
That was a failure. My Instagram currently, though, is covered in watches and Porsches. And I don't know why. I think I went down like a rabbit hole one day. It thinks I want one of either, and I can't afford either. So it's kind of off a little bit right now, but it tried its best.
That's so
My
funny.
Instagram
I don't
knows
really
me.
get product ads. I get I'd probably get like AI tools and software tools ads versus product ads.
I was gonna pull mine up and see what my first ad is, but yeah, I like to buy things from Instagram. They know me. They know me well. It's usually Hawaiian shirts. Great Hawaiian shirts. Yeah, great Hawaiian shirts. Okay, let us move on. Will, would you like to go over the drop from Perplexity that happened today?
For sure. Really exciting news. All right. So we have Comet, which I believe is the first paid for browser since the early days of web browsing. Web browsers are typically free. Today, this is available if you pay for Perplexity Max. I only pay for Perplexity Pro, so I can't actually access it. But it's a nice website. Yeah. And so, I think it's super cool. They did say, the founder said that they went this route when they kind of got blocked by Google and Chrome for trying to make Perplexity one of the search core products you can add. They said no. And so they thought, well, let's go and build our own browser. So I think it's very bold. And they're attacking, obviously, a huge market that's dominated by Google. OpenAI is attacking search. Perplexity is attacking search a bit, but now they're also attacking the browser. And I think there is, maybe to Holly's earlier point as well, is like, you can start doing a lot of things in the browser that is giving you tools almost to your agent to go and do things on your behalf. So if you have a Sephora loyalty card, you've logged into that website, you've logged into your United Miles account, it's going to know these things about you. And so actually down the line, I'm not sure how super embedded it is today, but down the line, it can do things on your behalf. The examples they have is like more like plan me a route around Paris for the day shopping, and you like type that into Google Maps. I don't think I would do that, but it's trying to showcase a little bit of the use case there. But I do think it's bold. I don't think we've seen a new browser come out for a very long time.
Well,
what do you think?
Dia. Well, I was to say we had Dia come
true.
out from the browser company, the makers of Arc. They've basically decided to get rid of Arc in lieu of going the AI route with Dia. I downloaded it. I actually know a few people on our team that have adopted it entirely and are really trying to embrace it and do like it. So they have had a good experience. I can't log in. It won't let me log in. It doesn't let me reset my password. So I have not been able to try it. I tried twice. Need some technical support on that. I'd love to send my agent down that rabbit hole to figure it out for me. But I think it is, actually, I think it's a very, very powerful space to try to compete in. it is like the operating system of the internet, right? And so if you can control that interface, you can control quite a bit of things. And now that AI is so interconnected into everything, if you can be like the parent umbrella of all of it, you have the ability to do a lot of these things like switch tabs, click this button, understand this thing. Like you are the owner of whatever this user is doing. What do you think, Holly? If you have thoughts.
I don't have strong thoughts on it because I haven't been able to try it. I'm still a Chrome user,
right.
But I am very curious to see where they go with it.
I mean, the friction on switching browsers is insane. Like I'm also a Chrome user, and I would definitely try. As you know, I'm an early adopter of like literally any and everything. Chrome is a very hard one for me to get by because I just have so much in there. So
I'm really
sticky.
Curious why it says it's free, but then you have to be on Perplexity Max. And what is Perplexity
I think it's
Max
just how they're rolling it
Perplexity
out
Pro?
to use early users.
Well, it's free as long as you pay $200.
I think, I guess, would you see in kind of the world around agentic commerce, they have a shopping app, right? You experienced their shopping app recently. You wrote a blog post about it. Do you think you might have had a more successful time using this, or you think because of the variant level product data, the real-time accessibility, all this other kind of underlying infra still doesn't change despite it being more knowledgeable about all your like browser history?
Yeah, I think they do need to collect the context and the intent on myself. I think as you use a browser, obviously they're collecting a lot of information. Look, Perplexity is huge, but I don't know what their team structure is internally, but it's pretty amazing. If you open Perplexity now, you'll probably see barbecues and garden equipment because they haven't personalized it to anyone. They haven't even updated that to change it, which I found really interesting when using it. The other thing is Perplexity have literally mentioned in their terms and conditions that they basically have like the merchant data center that Google has, where merchants have to integrate their feeds. And so that's a barrier to entry because you're only surfacing the products that merchants have integrated with. And then the other thing is, and you guys would know better than anyone, not all merchants have spent time and resources fixing their data.
What?
Yesterday, yeah. Well, I know, wild, huh?
It's crazy.
They need to speak to you guys. Yesterday, because we're rolling out some exact product matching for our users. So if you find an item, how can we find it for you at another store? And we were literally training our model and we opened up a product page and it was for this sunscreen. And in the photo, the bottle of the sunscreen was half an ounce. The description variant was 4.9 ounces. That was in the variant dropdown to select what size you wanted. And then in the description, it was 1 ounce. And so it was one price with one variant. But which one were you getting? Were you getting what was in the description? Were you getting what was in the dropdown? Were you getting what was in the photo? And so that makes it really hard as, number one, as a human to be able to shop and check out and decide, is that the right item you want to buy? Let alone an agent, does it buy it for you and then give you the wrong thing? The other thing is I know that Perplexity's teamed up with a company called Firmly.ai. So I don't really know how much they're doing human in the loop versus automated. So they're my thoughts on Perplexity's shopping experience.
It's always fun when we speak with somebody in such our small world where these 1 ounce versus 2 ounces, picture, description, these are things we just like think about way too much. And if anyone from the outside came and listened to our conversation, they would be so bored. Just so bored with the minutia details that we speak of.
So
true. My thought is it will get solved, but you're absolutely right. And I think what we think about a lot and what we've built at Woflow at scale is such a long tail to this kind of data. And the PIMs are great for like, if you're looking for like Coca-Cola branded stuff on like, a reputable platform, you're probably going to get pretty great level SKU data. But as soon as you go through that, you're going to a regular merchant or a store, you have tens of thousands of SKUs. That long tail becomes really, really hard and really janky data to really yield perfect results. And you completely need that. So I'm excited to see your product matching tool. I don't know what it's going to give you there, false positive on the skincare stuff, but that's exciting. I think the people that have done it really, really well is the buy box on Amazon, right? Like that's world class, but they've spent billions of dollars producing that. And so how we bring that to the masses, I think is needed. I think it's a necessary journey in the agentic commerce space.
Agree. Okay, we're going to wrap up with one more story. Just one. I know we have more topics, but we're just going to do one more. And it is AI interviewers for job recruiting. This new company came out called Teammates AI. I have very strong opinions about this. Very curious what you two think. But here is a quick demo. I'm going to actually be interviewed by this AI right now.
Let's see it.
What job are you going for?
Okay, here we are. What job am I going for? I don't know. Let's find out. Let's start the demo. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
I can hear you loud and clear.
Oh, good, Sarah.
Great. Glad the audio is clear. What role would you like to interview for today?
Gardening.
Perfect. So here's the plan. I'll ask you 3 questions about gardening, focusing on your technical skills, problem solving, and communication. It'll take about 10 minutes. Ready to get started?
I only have 30 seconds. I'm very busy.
No problem at all. Let's do a quick question. Can you tell me about your experience with plant care and maintenance?
No. Did I get the job?
Thanks for your time. If you'd like to continue later, just let me know. All the best.
What do you think? A, did I get
Wow.
the job? B, would you work for a company where the interviewing is done by an AI? That's the main question.
Yeah, it's a little. I could see the need for it as kind of the AI is working on the other side, right? And it's just spamming every recruiting channel for jobs. There's just like more people applying because it's so easy to apply now. You need some way of combing through that, but I think this might not be it. I don't know. It's pretty dystopian from my perspective.
I feel like I would like to use Tavis to make my own AI avatar to then I'd just be like, here's my resume. Go talk to teammates.ai and convince them that I'm good for the job.
Or you
And
could
then you just have 2 robots talking to each other.
you could just use Cluely as well. You could just interview using Cluely, and then you get the job.
Do they have they don't have an actual like AI.
No, but you could do it using it. What do you think, Holly? Would you be hiring your next head of engineering with this product?
I don't think so. Originally, when I went on, I was like, "Oh, this would be good to practice questions." I literally was thinking I could practice with this person. To be honest, as a founder, I've barely done any interviews, and my worst fear is actually having to interview. So I thought about it from that angle. As a founder, I actually just want a quick snippet of someone. Not it probably gives back a transcription / says this person's good at this, and this. But for me, I really like to understand what somebody is like talking, and it would just generate still the amount of work to have to go and listen to it. So I'm not too sure. But I mean, I guess the one thing is that the tech is as worse as it will ever be right now, so maybe it will only get better and more real. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think what we've seen, we've tried it in the past a few times. We now use Ashby for all our recruiting, but we've used LinkedIn's built-in recruiter tools in the past. They do have the ability for people to upload recordings of themselves. And is this any different to the little text box that you put out there on your application that says, "Give me a time when you did X"? It's kind of the same thing, right? It's that sort of mixed with the recruiter first screen. It feels very dystopian right now, but in 10 years, it's probably the way it's headed.
I don't know if I buy it for this specific thing. I feel like there are specific jobs where maybe this is right, but for the vast majority that have any sense of culture, even if it's a tiny bit of culture, it just gives me the ick to want to start working at a company where they are just trying to churn through this as fast as possible. It makes me feel like the selection is not a priority for them. And so the other people I'd be working with are also going to be kind of bottom of the barrel. I don't know.
Is it
That's
purely
just my initial
recruiting? Because you also have a proliferation in the space in AI SDRs, right, that are doing the cold call outreach with agents. Is it just everything gives you the ick, or is it mostly recruiting?
I think recruiting. I do know that the AI SDRs are not going well. We've covered a few of them, and I don't think they're doing as well as promised. But that's for another day. Okay, I think that does it. I think that wraps us up for the first ever Vibeflow.
Nearly forgot your own name.
Vibeflow. I was going to say Flow Vibe. No, it's Vibeflow. So thanks for tuning in to Vibeflow. Holly, great to have you. Thanks so much for being here. And Will, thank you as usual for sticking up with my shenanigans on the Vibeflow.
Always a pleasure, Vibeflow. Holly, thanks for being a great sport and for joining us on the first episode.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll see you real soon.
Good. See you soon.
Thanks, everyone. And
Bye, guys.
remember, subscribe, like, smash, whatever you got to do. Just keep up with us. We're fun. Okay, bye.